Hello everyone, today in this video we will learn algorithm and flowchart. Algorithm and flowcharts describes the program. This do not do anything, just describe what we are going to do in the program. Now, algorithm and flowchart, these two terms are used to describe the program. Now algorithm, the stepwise descriptions of how to arrive at the solution of the given problem is termed algorithm. This is a textual descriptions. Algorithm define the process of getting solutions from beginning. Now while we writing the program to solve the specific problem, we'll use specific process, we use specific logic, we take input variable to display we will display certain output, and we'll use certain logic, and the descriptions, stepwise descriptions, we'll use one take input and so on, 1 2 3, in this way, and the descriptions of the process is called the algorithm. If we follow this algorithm, we will reach to the solutions of the given problem. Now this is the algorithms. And what is the flowchart? The flowchart is nothing, just a pictorial representations of algorithm. Algorithm describe the program, how to get the solutions, and the flowcharts just convert algorithm into the pictorial representation. Now we'll use a real-time example to draw the flowchart and also to describe the problem steps. Now let's take an example. Suppose a let's write a suppose a questions. Now suppose our questions is write a program. W means write a program. Write a program to check whether a given input number is even or odd. Suppose we want to solve this problem. Suppose we need to take a input number, and we need to check whether this number is even or odd. Now we'll try to write its algorithm, and we'll try to find its flowchart, and we'll solve this problem using the C programming language. We'll understand from this example. Now write a program to check whether input number is even or now we need to first of all find out its logic. How to check whether a number is even or odd? To check, there is a simple logic. We need to first of all we need to find out the logic how to get into the solutions of the any problem. To write the program, we need to first of all we need to draw its logic. What is the logic to check whether a number is even or odd? To check a number whether it is even or odd, we need to divide that number by 2. Any number. To check whether the number is even or odd for any number, we need to divide it by 2. For an integer number only, we are checking whether this number is even or odd for integer number. Now for any number, to check whether it is even or odd, we need to divide it by 2, and we need to check its remainder. Its remainders gives 1, then it is odd number. Its remainder gives 0, then it is even number. We need to understand in this way. For example, suppose 8, we need to check 8. If we divide by 2, 2 for the 8, 0, it gives remainder 0. That means 8 is a even number. Suppose 9. Suppose if we divide 9 by 2, then 8 to 4 is 8. it gives reminder 1. That means it gives reminder 1. That means 9 is a odd number. In this way, we can check any number whether it is even or odd by dividing 2 and by checking its remainder. Now, same logic we will use in this way to find its solutions. Now, what would be the steps to check whether the number to whether it is even or odd? First of all, we need to take a integer number. We need to take a integer number. We need to take a number. To check any number, whether it is even or odd, we need first of all that number. Okay? Take integer number. Input integer number. Now, divide number by 2. These are the steps. First step, take an input number, input that number, divide that number by 2, divide number by 2, 3. What would be 3? Check. We need to check the remainder of this process. First of all, we need to take that integer number, we need to divide that number by 2, and we need to check remainder. Case 1. 4. If remainder is 0, display even number, go to step 6. 5. If remainder is 1, display odd number. This is 5, 6. Now, these are the steps to check whether that number is integer or odd. Sorry, whether that number is even or odd. First of all, to check any number, we need that number, so that we took that number. And the second step, we need to divide that number by 2 according to our logic. And we need to check the remainder of that divisions. And step 4, if remainder is 0, if that division operations give remainder 0, then obviously we know that this number could be even, so that we need to display even number and go to step 6. We need to skip that step 5 because we already got our result. Otherwise, if this do not happen, we can also write here is, or if remainder is 1. In another case, if that remainder is 1, then we need to display that number is odd. That means and exist. This is the steps. Step-wise descriptions of how to arrive at the solution of the given problem, or this is describe the steps which if we follow, then we'll get into the solutions of the given problem. This is called the algorithms. Algorithm means we need to describe how to get the solutions by using the programming. Now, flowchart. We need to convert these steps into flowchart. Flowchart means the pictorial representations of the process, of the pictorial conversion of the algorithm. We need to describe the solutions, steps to get into the solutions by using the picture. Pictorial representation of the algorithm is called the flowchart. Now, flowchart. What are the alert symbol in the flowchart? Let's draw. Oval. Start, end. This represents the start and end of the flowchart. Parallelogram. This figure is called the parallelogram. This is input. This figure represents the input and output. Rectangle. Process. Process. This rectangle represents the process. Diamond. Condition. Condition or decision. Condition slash decision. Arrow. Flow of control. Circle. These are the alert symbols. We can use these symbols to draw the flowchart. Now let's use this symbol to draw the flowchart to check whether the number is even or odd. Now this is the start. S-T-A-R-T. This is the start and end symbol. We are starting from there, and we need to process initialize. Initialize variable. Variable A. We need to write this inside the rectangle. We initialize variable A. That means we are using variable A to assign that number which we are going to check whether it is even or odd. Now this arrow start and it goes to the initialize variable A. Now I input a number and assign to A. Now this is the input operation. Input operation, we need to take input a number and need to assign to the A. This since process assigned to A is the process, but C programming do the these two operations as input operations. This perform it once. Scan F. Now input a number and assign to A. Suppose X. Let's say X because this seems similar. This age to age are different. To make the different, we have changed the name of the variable. Initialize variable X. Input a number and assigns to X. To input a number and assigns that value to the variable X. And we need to find out. We need to check X modulus 2. Now this gives the reminder. These operations in the C programming language, these operations perform X division 2 and gives reminder. This gives the reminder of X division by 2. Now there are two cases happen. Whether it gives 0, whether it gives 1. Because if we divide any number by 2, it can give two remainder 0 and 1. If we divide any number by 3, then there the possible reminders are 0, 1, 2. If we divide any number by 10, there the possible remainder are 0 to 9. That means the remainder could be the all number 1 less than the divisor. That means divisor is 2 and the possible reminders are 0 and 1. 1 less than this number. Now 0 and 1, 0. In case of 0, and this would be the output. Output symbol would be like this, parallelogram. Display the number is even. And if we get 1, display the number is odd. And we can use a connector to connect this process, and we use over in. Now, yes, connector and end. Now, see here, display the number is odd. You can see there. Now, let's me to describe this flowchart. This is called the flowchart. This is the flowchart. Now, we have done nothing. Just we have described the process to find to check the whether number is even or odd using figure. This is just a convergence of the algorithm to the diagram, and this is called the flowchart. Here we need to start. We are going to draw the flowchart. Initialize the variable x. That means we need to define. We are using the variable x. X preserve the memory in the required space in the memory, and we need to input a value and need to assign to the x, and x division 2. We need to perform x division by 2 process decision. If it gives 0, then display that number is even. If it gives 1, then display that number is odd. And we need to connect this to process by a connector and the end. This is the steps to draw the flowchart to check whether the given number is even or odd. Now let's write the C program. Now, this is the program. We have done nothing, just we are converting this algorithm or flowcharts steps into the programming language, and this is the C programming language to check whether the number is even or odd. Now we have already described the basic structure of the C programming. Now we have already discussed these steps, and our main program would be from this bracket to this get steps. This is our main program. Now these are the repeating steps for any program. Now these two are the header file we have already described. This is the main functions. We do not do anything with it. A program contain at least one main functions, and this bracket represents the content of main functions is started, and here it ended. Start to end. That means this contains the content of function body of the main functions. Now gets this hold the screens until we see that, until we press any key. Now this is our main program. Now here we need to define a variable, we need to initialize a variable. That means we give int, because int only allowed to enter a int is a data type that tell a compiler to take only integer input from the keyboard. That means we can assign 10, 5, 6 and etc. Scanf, let me to describe scanf. Scanf allow us to input a value from the keyboard and assign to the variable. Now scan is an input function. Scanf is the input functions in the C program language that allow us to enter a value from the keyboard and to assign into our variable. That means scanf, it have two parameter, %d, which is inside double bracket, and double quotation mark. Scanf contain two parameter, one inside the double quotation mark and another is a variable followed by ampersand. Now this define %d. %d define which type of variable we are using, we are going to use. That means %d. Integer, we have already studied while studying the data types. Integer are represented by %d or %i and generally use %d. That means %d, we wrote 1%d, that means we are using one variable. We are going to enter one integer variable. That means that is using %d. We are going to enter one integer variable, one integer data from the keyboard. That means we are writing %d. Entering data, that means we are using integer variable. And comma, we need to separate this by comma and ampersand x. That means the value we entered from the keyboard need to assign into x. That means if we press 5, then x equal to 5. X stored 5. Automatically this function, this scanf provide this facility. And we know we have assigned the value of x. We have assigned the value of x from the keyboard. That means we need to check whether x division by 2 gives 0 or 1. Now if else are the, we'll study this. This is the control statement, this is the selections statement. We'll study this later, but let's understand. Let me to describe shortly here. If else, if contain a conditions. If else is a selections function. If contain a conditions, and if these conditions will be true, that means if this is a valid conditions, then the its body flowing by this bracket after if and up to end when it get close bracket, open bracket, close bracket, flowing the if conditions, and all the statement executes on between these two bracket. Now if these conditions will be true, then this statement will be executed. Otherwise, if this statement seems false, then this else statement, the bracket inside the else will be executed. What? Now if contain conditions, that is this is called the conditions. Now if else statement, there are two statement, if statement, else statement. The if statement is called the statement which is followed by the ifs, and else statement are called the statement or command which follow the else. That means at one time, at one executions, only if statement or else statement, any one, either if statement or else statement will be executed, not both at the same time. Both statement do not execute at the same time. At one time, whether this statement or this statement will be executed at one time. That is, if these conditions will be valid, then if statement will be executed. If this statement become false, then else statement will be executed. This if and else are related with each other. This means if to do this, If false, do this. Now we need to check these conditions. Now what does this means? X modulus 2. This is called the modulus. This is the remainder of x modulus x division 2. Remainder of x division 2. And double equal means equal, just equal. Just equal means to check whether this number is equal to 0 or not, we need to write two equal symbols. Now 0, if this conditions gives 0, that means 0 is equal to 0. For example, x is equal to 6. X modulus 6 modulus 2 gives 0. 6 division 2 gives remainder 0, that means 0. Then this conditions will be satisfied. That means this gives the true conditions. And we need to check first of all these conditions. If these conditions will be true, then this statement will be executed. Otherwise, if this condition will not satisfy, then this statement will be executed. Now, and gets hold the screens until we press any key, and this is the terminations of the main functions. That means, let's suppose this is the program, C program, to check whether a number give input a number is even or odd. Now let's check. Let's take an input. Suppose x is equal to 6. Suppose while executing this program, a screen asks us to enter a number, and suppose we press 6. Then 6 will be assigned to the x. Then value of the x will be 6. And we need to check x division 2. X modulus 2. This gives 6 division by 2, remainder of 6 division by 2. That means 6 by 2 gives remainder 0. And 0. 0 equal to 0. This is true. 0 equal to 0. This is true. And at that time, this statement will be executed, and this display even number. That means we need to understand 6 is an even number. And suppose x is equal to 7, then 7 by 2 gives remainder 1. That means this condition 1 equal to 0, false. 1 double equal to 0, false. That means this statement will be executed and odd number will be displayed. In this way, we can write any program to solve the problem. We can write any program to solve the problem. If we know the logic, then we can write the algorithm, we can draw the flowchart, and also we can write the program. We can convert that logic into the program using the programming language. Thank you everyone for watching the video. Please subscribe the video, keep watching, drop the comment which topic you want to study, and help us. Thank you very much.